Hi there, I'm Henry Bechelet, the Technical Manager for ICL, UK and Ireland, and I'm joined in this video by Dr. Andy Owen, who is the International Tech Manager for ICL Turf and Landscape. Okay, so this is the fourth instalment of our series of technical update videos on the subject of integrated disease management, and in particular, the management of Microdochium patch disease in the autumn. So far in these videos, we have covered a background to the disease where we sort of try to get an understanding of the factors that favour its development and its sort of general motivation. We've also covered what integrated turf management or integrated disease management actually means. And then we talked about fungicide technologies as well, to try and get the best out of those, with particular reference to timing, etc. But today we're going to talk with Andy about our ICL trial program that has helped us make some really good progress in this area. So, Andy, can you start us off and talk a little bit about the trial work that we do in general, and why it is so sort of pivotal for us in sort of everything that we do?
Yeah, of course. Thanks, Henry. Yeah, so I guess trial work makes up maybe 30% of my job. And at ICL, we see it as a really critical part of what we do. It helps us understand and develop new products. And it also helps us provide the right advice for the use of our existing products. During the course of a year, I would be doing trial work with external partners, trial stations and universities, but also working with our internal R&D team who are based in the Netherlands, and carrying out more local trial work here in the UK with yourself and area sales managers, but throughout the globe where we have sales managers who are doing trial work as part of their own jobs.
Yeah. So we do lots of trial work, don't we, for lots of different reasons. But I suppose we're here today to talk about Microdochium patch trial work. So can you sort of give us a sort of bit of a history of what we've been doing in this area?
Yeah, so every year I've been in this job, we've done research specifically on Microdochium nivalis, Microdochium patch disease. And as Kate Entwistle said in the first video of the series, Microdochium patch is a really important disease for cool season turfgrass, and so it is important that course managers have strategies to hand to help them manage the disease and mitigate the worst effects of the disease on their surface. And the research that we would do or we have done in this area really falls into two broad categories. There would be individual product focused research, where we get hold of a new nutritional product or a new biostimulant, and we would test that on its own compared to the control plots with nothing applied, and control to best practice or the application of an existing fungicide. And there would also be the research where we take products that we know have some effect and we integrate those together into a program. So we're looking at how the whole program affects the development of the disease. Now, the former of these two is a little more scientific. We're looking at the effects of an individual product. But the latter, our sort of integrated approach, is way more realistic. That's what would happen on the ground. It isn't about individual products. It should be about a whole program of management.
Yeah, we've come a long way over the years, haven't we? Because we used to sort of place all our emphasis on individual products and the sort of impact it had on disease, but we sort of realised along the way that actually the real power of the sort of these treatments is sort of as a fully blown management strategy. Integrated disease management in practice. So we sort of try and do a bit of both. Okay, so we're trying to be really scientific about how we go about our business. Can you sort of explain why the science is so important?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the individual product assessments are important. Over the years, we've shown, the real value in getting nutrition right in the autumn and the spring. We've shown, how use of iron sulfate can be really helpful through the critical periods. We've also shown how, moisture management of the surface is important as well. But when you focus on an individual product or the effect of an individual product, whilst the trial can be robust and complete and allow you to say something about it, it's never the full story. And in some ways, I smile. You see this a fair bit in the industry. You see comments about products that say, in trial work, they will reduce your disease pressure by 30%. I can sell you a product tomorrow that will reduce the microdochium outbreak based on trial work by 30%.
Well, that sounds good.
Yeah, and it is good. But when you think about it, if you're compared to an untreated control, where the total outbreak is, say, 24% of your surface affected by disease, a 30% reduction just takes that disease from 24% down to 16%. 16% of the surface affected by disease is still a disaster. But you can sell a product based on the fact that it offers you a 30% reduction, but that should never be the full story.
Yeah, no, I know. Yes, exactly. So we're sort of really tight on this, aren't we? We don't set up trials to exploit statistics or sort of come across with results that sort of seem more compelling than they actually are. We try and sort of, we're trying to give good advice with this stuff, aren't we? So have you got any examples of where that might have been the case, where we could have been tempted to overinflate some trial results?
Yeah, and it might not be overinflation, but it's just understanding how the results are put across, I guess. The perfect example would be for moisture management. ICL developed a new dew dispersant product, H2 Pro Dew Smart, and in trial work over a couple of years, done independently. If you apply it to a dry leaf, apply it when growth is low, you disperse your dew, and you can reduce the outbreak of disease by 20 or 30%. We've seen that on numerous years. But on its own, that 20 or 30% isn't enough. And when the trial work really becomes enlightening is when we add technologies together. And we did a particular trial where we took the great results from the dew dispersant and we put that alongside in a program the use of a penetrant wetting agent. So we have H2 Pro Flow Smart, which is our penetrant wetting agent. And on its own, the penetrant wetting agent does not significantly reduce the outbreak of disease. But when you put together a program of penetrant wetting agent through the critical disease period, through the autumn and into winter, you apply a dew dispersant, H2 Pro Dew Smart, at the right time when possible through there. The combination of the two gives you a better result, and you significantly reduce your outbreak of your disease even further.
Yes, so it's that's an example where you sort of almost like had to go that bit further to get a result that you were sort of happy to talk about. That the dew dispersant on its own, although it was kind of quite pleasing, you couldn't sort of make that advice because it just was not effective enough. But when you sort of went that extra way to sort of build integrated programs where the benefits are adding up with each other, all of a sudden you've got stuff that you can sort of start giving advice. Can you tell me, in the case of that particular example, what's going on there with that sort of combination of a dew dispersant and a penetrant through the autumn period? What do we think is happening there to get such?
I think for Microdochium patch, moisture is absolutely critical. So it's all about managing the moisture. The dew dispersant, used correctly, will be keeping the leaf dry through an extended period, and alongside that, the penetrant is also acting to reduce the moisture in the sward or in the surface of the root zone in the lower canopy. I mean, a penetrant wetting agent will reduce dew as well, just for a shorter period of time than a dew dispersant. So I think the combination of the two together, I would describe it as keeping the leaf dry and then also trying to dry out the upper root zone, and the combination of them both makes the environment less hospitable for the development of the disease, so the disease will develop more slowly or struggle to take help.
Yeah, we go right back to the beginning, don't we, when we're sort of talking about the background of the disease. There's factors that favour the development of disease, moisture, especially around the sort of canopy, the leaf canopy. Really important to the development of microdochium technologies that sort of make it a less favourable environment, as you say. Then you can start sort of being effective. So that would be one element of an integrated management strategy. Your moisture management is really important. Okay, so look, we've done lots and lots of trials over the years. Is there sort of, a summary of the outcomes of the trials that you could just sort of give us at the end of this?
Yeah, I think it's important to say, we'll continue to do both styles of research. We see the importance of individual product testing, and we get offered loads of products every year that are suggested will have an effect on the disease. So we need to look at those. But the true value really comes in integrating these products together in a program that might work for the end user. I think it's really important to say, though, what I find interesting, in the 7 years I've been doing this trial work and the previous work that ICL did when we were Scots in the same area, we've never found an individual product, be it nutritional, be it moisture management, be it iron-based, be it biostimulant, be it biological, fungal or bacteria. We've tested all these things. We've never found a single product to be as effective as, a single application of a Syngenta fungicide applied at the right time in the disease cycle to be effective. All these products, can show a benefit, but often that benefit is small. And you only really get the value when you start adding them together in an integrated program. And so that is why we've got to continue this structured trial work to help us understand how we manage disease better with a range of technologies.
Yeah, it's about everything, isn't it? It's not just about moisture management or nutrition. Fungicides are a big part of the fully integrated program. And we shouldn't ever sort of forget that. And they're really sort of the most important element. Really. Okay, so let's just finish up. It's kind of clear from our experiences that sort of structured and scientific trial work is really important if we're going to gain a better understanding of the situation. And we think that we've made some significant breakthroughs with our understanding and the advice that we can give to our customers as a result of the trial work that we've done. And actually, we think that we've never sort of produced more effective programs than we are recommending at the moment. We will continue to conduct trials because we want to continue to make progress. Don't we?
Interesting.
Yeah, and we're kind of learning as we're going as well. So hopefully we'll get better and better and better and get more sort of compelling results out. So thanks, Andy, for a start. Your scientific sort of background and knowledge is in no small part a big factor in all this. So thanks for sort of sharing a little bit of your insights. Thanks to everyone for joining, actually. Hope you enjoyed this. Hope you took a little bit out of this sort of update, and make sure to look out for the other episodes. So
absolutely.
See you soon. Thanks, Andy, and we'll see you soon.
Okay. Cheers.